Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ask Rebecca radio show. Thanks for joining me. Happy Halloween. I'm sure many of you are probably out and about taking the kids trick-or-treating, or maybe you're trick-or-treating yourself. Maybe you're at an adult party. Whatever the case is, I'm sure you're probably not sitting here watching the show live right this moment. But I hope everyone had a really great month of October. I haven't been on air since the 3rd. It's been a really busy month for me. I launched my Patreon channel before I went on vacation. And for those of you watching the recorded version of this show, the link will be in the description box on YouTube. You can sign up to get your monthly horoscopes for $5. And I have other tier levels that offer you access to different content, like an Ascension series. I created some of my own meditation and chakra balancing videos as well to do some energy work for you guys. There's also a tier that includes access to all of the content, plus a 30-minute session with me each month, a copy of my book that will be published hopefully next year, early next year, a cold case file series. You'll get a galactic calendar, a crystal chakra set, all kinds of cool stuff. Check it out if you're interested. I appreciate your support. This helps me raise some money to invest in better equipment for my radio show that you're listening to right now. Plus, I'll be soon having also a TV show, and to help get my book out there and published. So I hope that you guys will support me. I love you and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. So after vacation, I ended up catching a really nasty head cold that basically put me out for some time as well. So another reason why I wasn't here. And it's really hard to do intuitive work when you have a head cold and your head's all fuzzy and the energy to even just try to channel information. And as you know, in my world, every physical symptom has a spiritual meaning, and catching a cold is connected to too much going on at once. So hi, hello, have you met me? That is my life. So I need to make a change, right? So the universe had to smack me over the head a couple of times since I've literally caught a cold in the last year at least twice. And I went from like not catching colds at all. So I'm taking the hint and I'm making sure that I'm going to balance and support myself just as much as I help balance and support others. Okay, enough about me. Let's talk about what has been going on this month. And whoa, the energies have been insane. There has been so much going on energetically. You may feel like you've been out of control. Your life could be falling apart in certain areas. Emotional junk may be coming up for you. Physical symptoms may be happening, body symptoms. Everything from illnesses to aches and pains, and at the same time, there's also been some really awesome, exciting, and amazing things happening at the same time, right? So it's kind of been this really weird mixed bag of goodness and challenges. And remember, the challenges lead you to more goodness once you get through them. Let's see, today is October 31st, and today Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio, and we just had a powerful new moon in Scorpio as well, and that caused some emotional upheavals. We are also in the midst of a 10-day portal activation where planetary alignments and energies are affecting you on a deep cellular level, and you're going through another round of DNA activation, but now it's happening back to back to back to back. So things are just super intense. And, you know, I've said it 1,000 times, it's only going to get more intense, especially once we get into 2020, right around the March timeframe. So this activation, this portal began, the portal activation days began on October 26th, and they will last until November 4th. And this time period could have you dealing with your shadow side. So you could be dealing with like negative situations that are coming up and out of you. You might be dealing with life things that pull out. It's another round of purging. So the veil of illusion will be much thinner so that you can get a glimpse into all sorts of sides to yourself, right? And it's all about really just getting in your own head and understanding the mind and getting through the mental disciplines in order to really work through your stuff. And you can use your everyday life as a mirror reflection to give you signs of what is going on with you, right? So if you're dealing with angry people and it's triggering you, you've got unresolved anger issues. If you are, blaming people for a bunch of stuff and nothing's ever your fault, well, then you've got victim consciousness going on. So this is a really important time frame to bust your butt, dig deep, deal with yourself. It's not as bad as it sounds once you start doing the work. From October 18th to November 14th, we are in the 28-day moon cycle of self-existing moon of form, which is represented by the number 4 and the words define, measure, and form. So you could see lots of 4s coming up in your life. You could see those words popping up in your life in some way or another. This cycle is about the essential role of definition in shaping our lives. So ask the what, where, when, why, and how. Define specifics. Assess the situation. Measure possible scenarios. This is a time about self-reflection, analyzing your thoughts, motivations, and truly, again, mastering your mental disciplines. It's a continuous examination of the self. And because your everyday definitions construct your everyday perceptions, which ultimately shape your world. And simply put, what you believe, what you think, what you feel, how you define your life, and where you're putting your energy and focusing on, that is what you're experiencing every single day. You are a co-creator of what is happening in your life. Let's get into what you can expect from tonight, October 31st, through to November 7th as an overall theme, and then areas of love, work, finances, health, and spirituality. So general themes. Sorry, I need to get my bangs trimmed, you guys. So this week feels very much about wants. And maybe something you've been wanting finally arrives or happens. Maybe someone will be wanting something from you. And this may not seem like anything different than any other way that you want something. Especially, let's face it, most people are in a continuous state of wanting. But this feels very, very different. There's an intensity here that will play out in possibly weird ways. There's also a connection to white horses. Kind of like, your prince rides in on a white horse and rescues you. You may see some symbolism here with white horses on TV or coming into your reality in a different way. This energy has a combo of really positive things coming towards you and some issues that need to be resolved around your wants that are creating a block. Once you move through this, you'll be more empowered and embody like a natural authority about yourself. Your wants won't control you. They won't control your emotional reactions or vice versa. Speaking of emotions, I'm seeing huge releases. The dam is about to break and all your held back emotions and blocked energies are being set free. And when that happens, get ready for fast forward action and a huge release of energy. It might suck while you're going through it, but just feel and release what you need. Don't fight it. Watch sad movies to kind of help it be pulled out of you. That always works for me. Just get right in there and just cry, 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 cry. Another good one is just get in the shower and cry. That's a good time as well. So just let it all out. Abundance is a theme this week too. Sure, for some of you, this abundance will manifest through prosperity and fulfillment. If you're hearing noises in the background, everybody's celebrating Halloween like crazy and shooting off fireworks. Welcome to Florida. Okay. However, the majority of this abundance I'm feeling means there is a lot happening around you and it's coming from many directions at once. Some of you may have an abundance of energy and you're feeling especially determined and ambitious. You're shaking hands, you're kissing babies, you're getting out there, you're making stuff happen for yourself. And some of you will be testing the waters by taking some steps towards your ambitions. You should be fairly clear on your hopes and dreams, and you should move forward with what's on your mind, right? The energy is prime for it. There is a caution not to launch anything brand new unless you absolutely have to during a retrograde period. Do some research on timing, but it's definitely a great time to be preparing, right? So, like, if you're going to start a business, you need to get your website up and running. You've got to figure out what you're going to call yourself. And there's a lot of background things to be doing. Maybe you need to build a little bit of confidence, and maybe you're doing some free sessions or doing different things like that. But that's all background stuff, right? That's not an actual launch. So do that, but time out the launch. Okay, some of you are just coming out of some really difficult times. The worst is over for now. And the time now is for solutions and plans to improve your situation. The energy is there to support you. The advice coming through is for you to evaluate the mistakes that you made in contributing to the problems that have occurred in your life, and to be sure that you don't repeat them in the future. Self-reflect on your choices that you made that did contribute to what's been going on in your life. I know it's hard to take responsibility for something you may think you had nothing to do with. However, it always takes two, and we always have a choice, and we always bear some form of responsibility. So some of you chose to stay too long in unhealthy relationships or a crappy job or situations you knew weren't going to change unless you moved on. So you fell for a scam because you didn't question research or do your due diligence to look deeper into a situation. So get real with yourself about those things, and you won't ever experience them again. Work, for those of you employed, a group of you could be dealing with some serious problems at work, possible mergers, layoffs, someone working against you, lying, cheating, stealing, fighting, or other issues. For some of you, this has been going on for a really long time, and maybe you've just been ignoring the problem, those problems, which will work for now, but for some, there are going to be some consequences. And for some of you, this becomes very clear, and you begin to wonder if it's really best for you to stay where you are or just start looking elsewhere. Another group of you could be stressing and worrying about how others perceive you at work. Stop worrying about how other people see you. Who cares? Okay, trust me, if they're judging you, it's because they judge themselves, and it doesn't matter. Don't worry about what other people think about you. Okay, unless you're just being a total jerk, then you're asking for it. Those of you looking for a job, I'm not feeling too much on the job front this week, only because I just feel like a bunch of you just got jobs. So maybe those of you that are still looking, I do feel, don't give up. It's just a matter of time. Love, for those of you in committed relationships and dating someone seriously, you could be feeling pressured by your partner's wants. You could be the one pressuring your partner with your wants. And some of you will be setting boundaries or having boundaries set with you. Basically, many of you are going to be working through some minor to major relationship wants and learning how to communicate with each other. And some of you are no longer interested in being in a relationship with your partner, and maybe this is the week that you finally break up with them so that you can both begin to move on. Those of you single and dating, not feeling too much in the dating world this week, except that you're dating. A few of you think you're ready for a long-term commitment. I kind of feel like maybe you're not, and there's some self-reflection that needs to happen. Also, a few of you are trying way too hard to conform to like societal norms or what society's expectations are around dating and all of that jazz. And I'm getting, you need to just do you and stop trying to be something that you're not, and don't let societal pressures, you know, take over or make you feel uncomfortable. Just be yourself and go out and date whoever you want to date and have a good time. And, as long as you're not hurting anybody, who cares? I think some of you have a lot of fear surrounding that. So you've got to really kind of work through it and maybe assess exactly what your fears are surrounding how society would perceive you in certain situations. Especially women, like women have this hang up about like, oh, I can't date more than one person at a time because that means I'm a slut, a whore, or whatever. No, you're allowed to date as many people as you want. Doesn't mean you're sleeping with all of them, right? Like you get to know people. That's how you learn about yourself and you figure out what you want and don't want instead of like sticking with one guy that took you out on a date one time and isn't talking to you, right? Okay, finances. Overall, going well. Some have or will be taking steps to improve their finances. Perhaps you finally pay off some debt and feel a sense of relief. Just make sure you don't fall into old habits and get yourself in debt again. And there may be a group of you that purchases something to do with transportation. Health, vitality is strong. There's an abundance of energy for most of you. Some of you will be implementing or at least thinking about new ways to improve your health or starting a health routine. Or some of you will really, I feel like, are going to be doing like lifestyle changes. Maybe all of a sudden you decide you're going to be vegetarian or try out vegan or, cut out dairy or whatever. You get the idea. Spirituality, you could finally overcome some extremely painful parts of your past. Now's the time to look forward. Some of you may travel somewhere for spiritual matters, and some of you will be increasing your spiritual awareness. I feel like I'm seeing people at seminars, I'm seeing them at retreats, and you're just having an awesome time connecting with your tribe. So that wraps up this week's intuitive messages. Let me get to tonight's caller. I have Michaela in Hamilton, New Zealand. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How can I help you this evening?
So I've had a year full of changes, and I've left my husband and things like that. So I just want to know that my life's still going in the right direction and kind of where to from here with my love life and career.
Um, yes, sorry, my mic is feeding back. Let me make sure I don't. Okay. Yeah, so I actually feel like you are in the middle of a completion cycle. And yes, you are absolutely on the right track, right? So even though you've been going through these changes this last year, I kind of feel like maybe you've hit a plateau where all of a sudden you might be freaking out a little bit. You might feel a little bit stuck, even though things have been happening around you. Would that describe your situation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. you you just have a little bit of that, again, a little bit of the panic rising up because it's like, okay, I've made all these changes, but not everything is exactly the way that I feel like it needs to be. And that's because you're teetering in this completion cycle, but it's almost over. I really feel like the new year is where you will really really see things taking off. As far as love, I just feel like this is a great time for you to really open up more to yourself and open up more
Mhm.
to the possibility of dating, right? And getting to know yourself through other people and kind of having a fun process with that. I don't feel like you need to be in a hurry, but I do feel like there's a little bit of work that needs to be done when it comes to the love department for you. And maybe it's getting your confidence back, or I don't know. I just feel like there's a little bit of something that is a block that you need to move through. And that might happen when you actually start dating. But I think it's always a great time to start self-reflecting. Does that make sense
Yeah.
to you? Okay.
Yes, it does.
Okay, yeah. I think, look, you splitting from your husband, breaking up and going through a divorce is never fun, and it can be difficult. And but sometimes relationships run their course, and I feel like yours did, and it's really, I think, the best decision made for everybody involved. Um,
Yeah.
do you have any other specific questions? Because I will just keep rambling and talking about different things that I pick up on, but I want to make sure I address your specific questions.
What about in my career? I can
Okay.
see, like, I know that my job is coming to an end. and I just want some direction and where next.
Okay. You know, I think it's great that your job is actually coming to an end. Um, I know it sounds crazy, but I think it's going to be a really positive thing for you. I feel like what you need to do before that happens is evaluate if your achievements line up with your potential. I feel like you are not giving yourself enough credit for the skill set that you have or just who you are as a person and what you have to offer. Even if you don't have like a crazy, master's degree or you're not a rocket scientist, like that doesn't matter. There's so much potential that I feel like you're not recognizing. And I feel like there's times where maybe you end up getting overlooked because you're not someone that's like, hi, look at me, look what I can do, which you don't want to be that kind of, you don't want to be that aggressive about it. Um, does that also make sense for you?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Um, so I feel like that is kind of tied into building up your self confidence and your self esteem and just learning who Michaela is right now, right? Like you've been the wife, you've been whatever. So this is a whole new beginning for you. I feel like you would do really, really, really great with I kind of feel like you need to figure out what you're good at. Like you know what you're good at, but I feel like you don't fully know your skill set. So I feel it would be great for you to maybe look into some aptitude tests or personality tests or some sort of quizzes that you can take that give you a little bit of insight into yourself. Um,
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's actually a really great book that I think that would be beneficial for you. It is I don't know if you have a pen or just if you listen back to the show, but it
Yep.
is, if you go to a website called peacefulwarrior.com,
Mm-hmm.
there will be a link to a life purpose calculator. And if you go to that, put in your birth date, it's going to spit out a number for you. It'll give you a brief summary about yourself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
But then if you actually purchase the book, it's written by Dan McMillan, I believe. Dan Millman. And the book is called A Guide to Finding Your Life Purpose, The Life You Were Born to Live. It's going to help you because it literally will get into specifics of what kind of food you should eat, what challenges that you have to work through in order to get to your life purpose. It will give you some ideas of what type of things you would be good at for doing in the career and work areas. So it's a really, really great book. I recommend it for all of my clients. So check it out. You can get it online. I need to reach out to him and start getting a commission or something. So yeah, I think that will help you. Financially, right now you're also in a little bit of a money block, and that is just connected to this completion cycle, and that is going to shift. It's almost over. I mean, to me, the words imminent come to mind, so I feel like it will happen fairly quickly. I think a lot of it is still tied to, you went through the changes with the divorce. That always costs stuff financially. So everything is going to work out. When does your job end?
Possibly early next year.
Okay. Let me see what I'm feeling here. I feel like it's going to get pushed out at least once. So maybe they're talking about like January or something like that. And I kind of feel like it's going to move from the first quarter of the year to maybe the second quarter. So maybe more like April timeframe. Um, so I feel like you'll have a little bit of time, but really start looking now, because I think, use this time wisely to figure out what you want to do. Don't be afraid. I think everything is going to be working out in your favor. Really, like, the worst part is over for you. Now it's all beautiful new beginnings. Sure, there'll be challenges. Um, Another thing that I'm getting for you is have a notebook or use your phone, because I feel like you're really going to be getting some flashes of insight during this time over the next several weeks. Your own intuition and higher guidance.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. Yeah. And work on, because I feel like you're stuck in your head right now and maybe stuck in certain beliefs, and you need to kind of let go of those old beliefs, right? Focus on what it is that you want and manifest it, create it in your life.
Okay.
Okay. I have probably 30 seconds. Yep, I have 30 seconds. Is there anything else that I can answer for you?
No, that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michaela. All right, everybody, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next week. Bye.